Hello, friends. Welcome to Psychoanalysis. I'm the psychoanalyst, and I'm not a professional psychiatrist whatsoever. But what I lack in formal psychiatric skills, I make up for in extensive, useless film knowledge stemming from a childhood full of trauma and escapism. I created this channel to allow me to analyze the most interesting and impactful villains and evildoers in fiction of all mediums. In this first episode, we will be placing the ferocious Tai Lung from Kung Fu Panda under the lens of our microscope to see how he grew from an innocently ambitious child into a monster who would stop at nothing to achieve his lifelong desires. Before we get into the episode, I just want to be clear that this channel isn't going to be solely dedicated to nostalgia-driven strolls through my childhood. We will be covering darker characters from more mature content in the future. But Tai Lung is such an amazing villain that, in my opinion, transcends him beyond the realm of just being a children's villain. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe! Tai Lung's story begins as an orphan, abandoned at the gates of the Jade Palace and discovered by Master Shifu, high-ranking master in the palace and next in command after Master Oogway, the senior master of the Jade Palace. The little leopard cub touched Shifu's heart, and he chose to adopt him and raise him as his own. He named the cub Tai Lung, which means Great Dragon. He did this in the hope that he might one day grow up to be the Dragon Warrior. This, in retrospect, was an act of vanity on Shifu's part, but we'll get into that later on in the video. Shifu began training Tai Lung incredibly young, and because of this, he was a prodigy. Shifu took Tai Lung's skill in Kung Fu as a sign that he was indeed the Dragon Warrior, though in reality it was only due to Shifu's intensive training of Tai Lung from such an early age. Tai Lung became incredibly accomplished, mastering leopard style and all of the 1,000 scrolls of Kung Fu. Despite all of these accomplishments, when it came time for Tai Lung to approach Master Oogway, he was denied, for Oogway saw the darkness in Tai Lung's heart, much to the surprise of both Tai Lung and Shifu. Tai Lung turned to his father and master, expecting him to defend him against Oogway's decision, but was broken when Shifu did and said nothing. Tai Lung flew into a monstrous rage, and ran from the palace down to the valley, and left a trail of devastation following him. After nearly destroying the entire village below, he returned to the Jade Palace to take the Dragon Scroll, containing the secrets of the Dragon Warrior, by force. Shifu, unable to see past the innocent child he had raised as his own, was cast down by Tai Lung, shattering his hip. Leaping for the scroll, Tai Lung was stopped midair by Master Oogway, using some crazy badass pressure point kung fu technique to block Tai Lung's chi and knock him out. This destroyed Master Shifu, his heart hardened by the pain and trauma. Tiger said that Shifu had loved Tai Lung more than he had ever loved anyone before, or since. An inescapable fortress called Chorgom Prison was constructed to only ever contain one prisoner, and was filled with traps and defenses. Tai Lung himself was contained in a large tortoise shell, with many acupuncture needles strategically placed along his back to block his chi, and even keep his breathing at a constant minimal level, keeping him completely immobile. I understand the need for this insane level of security, but that seems a little cruel if we're being honest. Chorgom Prison was guarded by the Anvil of Heaven, an army of 1,000 rhinos. Here, Tai Lung sat for 20 years, biding his time and seething in internal rage. Skipping ahead to present day, Master Oogway, after receiving a vision, tells Master Shifu that Tai Lung will escape. In response, Shifu sends a goose named Zhang to deliver a warning to the prison and instructions to make fortifications. The messenger arrives at the prison, where he meets Commander Vashir, leader of the Anvil of Heaven. He laughed at Shifu's warning and gave the messenger a boastful tour of the prison, demeaning and physically hurting the restricted Tai Lung in the process. But, as this tour is being given, one of the goose's feathers slowly drifted its way down to the very bottom. Just as Shifu's misguided actions and Tai Lung's childhood led to his turn to darkness, Shifu's actions in trying to prevent Tai Lung's escape ended up giving him the tool he needed to free himself. I love this thematic cohesion, and it's details like this that make Kung Fu Panda a masterpiece. And if you disagree with me on that, then I guess you can fight me! After freeing himself, taking on the entire Anvil of Heaven and breaking out of Chorgom in one of the coolest animated action sequences I've ever seen. Tai Lung tells Zheng to go back to Master Shifu and to tell him that the real dragon warrior is coming home. After setting out toward the Jade Palace, Tai Lung encountered the Furious Five, the Jade Palace's elite team of kung fu masters, each a master of their own respective style. Tigress is a master of tiger style, Crane is a master of crane style, etc., etc. The five gave Tai Lung a good fight, but in the end, the greatest fighters in all the land were no match for the ferocious leopard. He incapacitated all of the five but Crane, instructing him to carry the other four back to the Jade Palace and warn Shifu of his imminent arrival. By the time Tai Lung reached the valley, it had been evacuated on Shifu's orders. At this point in the story, Master Oogway has passed on, and left Shifu as senior master of the Jade Palace. Tai Lung greeted Shifu with, "I have come home, master." Shifu tells him, "This is no longer your home, and I am not your master." Having made it clear that they are enemies, the battle commences. It is during this battle that Tai Lung unleashes the fury that he's held for his former master for 20 years. He berates Shifu for doing and saying nothing when Oogway denied him, and accused Shifu of denying Tai Lung his destiny. He screamed, "All I ever did, I did to make you proud. Show me how proud you are, Shifu," as he struck Shifu down in defeat. Dazed and injured, Shifu tells Tai Lung, "I have always been proud of you. From the first moment, I've been proud of you. And it was my pride that blinded me. I loved you too much to see what you were becoming, what I was turning you into. I'm sorry." We see Tai Lung's cold and intimidating demeanor break for only a second, letting us catch the tiniest glimpse of the innocent little leopard he used to be. This only lasts for a brief glimpse, however, as Tai Lung almost immediately stuffs it back down and tells Shifu that he has no interest in his apologies, only the Dragon Scroll. Tai Lung realizes the Dragon Scroll has been taken and is seconds from ending Shifu when Po arrives for the final showdown between the Dragon Warrior and Tai Lung. Initially laughing at the sight of the panda, Tai Lung's smug grin is quickly wiped away when Po begins showing incredible skills and redirecting energy using his large percentage of body fat. They essentially begin a game of tag, each trying to get the Dragon Scroll from the other, until Tai Lung is able to momentarily defeat Po and open the Dragon Scroll. In it, he finds nothing. The scroll is blank. Po tells him, "There is no secret ingredient. It's just you." Infuriated and confused by this, Tai Lung went for a final blow against Po using chi-blocking strikes, only to find that Po's body absorbed them over and over. Tai Lung lost his mind in a rage at being bested by this panda, of all creatures. Going for one last strike, Tai Lung found himself in the grip of the Wuxi Fingerhold, a chi-based move that sends those that experience it straight to the spirit world. Tai Lung, mortified, stated that Shifu would never have taught Po such a move. Much to Tai Lung's horror, Po stated that Shifu didn't teach him. He figured it out. With this, Po executed the move and eradicated the presence of Tai Lung from the world forever, bringing peace and harmony to the valley once more. So what is there to say for or about Tai Lung? He was an orphan, getting a rough start at life, but also found love in Shifu. Though Shifu made mistakes as a father, in the end, Tai Lung's choices were his own, and were not the fault of Shifu. Though he began as an innocent child, Tai Lung grew to be a cold and heartless monster who would stop at nothing to get what he believed was his by right. He is an intense and layered villain, intimidating, evil, and yet somewhat sympathetic, which in my opinion is what makes him such a great villain. Thank you all for watching this first episode of Psychoanalysis. Please remember to like, subscribe, and to leave a comment below letting me know your thoughts on Tai Lung, as well as suggestions for future analysis. Thank you again. We'll see you next time.